here again. I'm finishing up the back gable wall of the shed slash studio slash workshop. I'm finishing up the gable studding framing over here. And yesterday I did this, which that will then take the sheathing like you see here. Okay, that's 3/4 inch sheathing, exterior. Alright, now here's the way I do this. I try to use nice dry wood, number one, nice straight wood. I got another one in the wings over there. And then I line up the cut that I previously made. The roof is close to 14-degree pitch, and I try to line this the best I could on the end, which is where the cut's going to fall. Right, and of course you want to line this. It's useless if you don't line this. Right. So now you carefully, without moving, and what I have to do now, I have to put I got to put a little weight on the top when I use my camcorder. Put a little weight that I need over here. Double check. Are you aligned? Back aligned. Back came out. Okay. Front's aligned. Could even use your pencil to line it up. Line with the pencil. Line with the pencil. Good. 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 And just make a line. All right. So you got one line there, and then of course you line the other one. You line the other one up the same way. Now, here's the other thing that I do. I put this. I take my saw, being that I'm not working with. I have 2 table saws in there in the other room. So what I do is I put a block here. It's just about the height of the rigid saw, and then what I do is I ridge this the best I could in alignment. All right, let me put the camera off for a minute here. Okay, what I just did here is not for I hate to say the meek. It's for someone that's a little more nuts. Anyway, I tied this up out of the way because it gets into the way when you're doing a cut like this particular thing. So now what I have to do is I got to stand to the side, of course. You don't want to be in line. You don't want to be in line with these teeth. So I have this clamp. I put this block, I raised it up to level the front of my wheel over there. All right, one more thing. Let me get my I got a tiny little square in here. Sorry about if I'm making you dizzy here. All right, you put this little square up there, and you could see that it's not exactly plumb, perpendicular. So I would have to do is put a little shim under one portion. Let me get something. Okay, this is for a man who works alone. I'm sure there's many ways we could do this, but I want that level. I want it level. I got it plumb as I could over there. So, and of course, you bring this down, and this you do by eye. Now this ain't a piece of furniture what I'm doing here, so it doesn't have to be exactly Alright, move your metal. Move the metal out of the way over there. Alright, and this how sturdy is this? Alright, I want to try it. Got a little dust on my camera here. How's that look? Close enough for government work? How's that? Make a nice wedge, huh? If that was a piece of cheese, I'd eat it right up. Alright, that's not bad. Not bad right there. Right? We agree? And of course, the other thing you could do, if I could do this with one hand, let's see. You bring this down. And then you bring this over here. It has to be shorter though. And you put this here and you see there's a sort of a reference. See, it's not bad. See, not bad. How's that? Close enough? Okay, folks, that's the cut, 37.5. And I got a gizmo holding it up over here. Got two gizmos over here holding it up. Now these clamps I highly recommend. And they also reverse. You got a little thumb deal over here. You back it off one full turn, and this whole thing then goes on the other side, on this side. See, they have the built-in little stops, and of course this is where the cam thing goes. The same thing, of course, with the other one. This one, no, not those, sorry. The ones I have in the shed here, I got one that's a 36-inch, will open up. 36-inch now, without the black deals on the end. These just come right off. So you got 36-inch between the yellow ends. All right, let me get back to work, and yeah, I got to cut another one. This was my master, and basically that's what they look like up there when you. Like I said, there's enough furniture, so you know, I wanted to get them in as close as possible so that I can get the sheathing right up to the end to be able to have a nailer. What I'll do with the sheeting, I'll even put some structural glue, because that's going to be a thin cut. You're going to have a little sort of a, well, just the way you see it. See, so, you know, it'll thin out, and I want to make sure that it's held properly, and then of course I'll put sealer on it, on the ends, because plywood over time does delaminate, even exterior plywood. Like I got stuff that's been sitting out in the rain. I must have this thing I must have 15 years, this particular plywood. And what I did over here with this works excellent is a piece of the exterior plywood on the bottom. The top of it is birch that you could use for making cabinets, the inside of the cabinets. Birch. The carcass of a kitchen cabinet. Okay. All right, the second one, being that I didn't have to hold the camera, what I did was I moved the saw this way. I rotated it clockwise a bit so I could position my clamp as close as I could to the table, and it aligned more perpendicular across the axis of the two things there. So even though I'm up in the air, what I did was with one hand, and I held it this way, being that I'm not holding a camera. I held it. Prior to doing that, though, I put my square on it. You know, I saw it was close enough for government work. And then what I did was I held it up. I held this end up. Lost my hand. And then I brought the chop saw down, and you can see a little bit of. I could have adjusted it more, but you know, it's going to serve the purpose. So that's the other method. When you're working alone, I work alone, so what am I going to do? But good tools, you know. Square is important. Square is a reference. That's the inspector right here. That's the inspector. See? Just like a blade. When you bring this blade down, it keep losing my hand here. It is looking for a perpendicular to the table, you know, 90 degree, and of course. You could also do this with the blade for checking your tracking that it's perpendicular to the back fence. So that's what you're looking for. Yeah, and just like the Egyptians when they did the pyramid, I'm sure they used a plumb bob in the center, but how they held it up, I'm not sure. When I find out, I'll post it. All right. Again, with security, stand by. Okay, I got the two pieces cut. They're in position. And now, this ladder that I'm using, by the way, is a Werner 300 pound. I highly recommend it if anybody actually. And I'm over 200 pounds, so it can't hurt. Okay, now I have little clamps, little Irwin clamps, and there's a lot of misalignment on when you're using different wood. A lot of times you'll see different things, different ways that they sit. The width, the nominal width isn't exactly, depending on the moisture. See, the lumber that is on, that's been up there is wet a couple of days. So let me put the clamps, line it up best I could. And make sure that you clamp the top plate. Do the top plate, not the siding on the outside. That doesn't feel right. All right. All right. Alright, I secured this with with the nail gun, which I have here. Got it hanging on this deal over here. You almost need two hands to take it off though. Now, and I got enough. I got enough nails. So I gotta put some studs there. But anyway, set it up. See, this has a hanger that you could put it on either spot. So now let me. Now I got to do the. I got to do the one on the other side. See, that's waiting. With any kind of a saw that's adjustable, and most of them are, you always got to make sure that when you reset something, just like I cut off a 13.5 degrees on these for the crippler studs for the gable wall. I did a couple of cuts, and now what I want to do is I want to trim. I want to cross cut and trim. So I had to reset this to 0. So you bring your blade down. Now you could lock it, of course, if you're holding a camcorder, like I am. All right, and then you see, this is why this damn thing gets in the way. Anyway, you bring a square up to the fence, and then you bring it up to the blade. And you don't push the blade to deflect it, but you want to make sure that you got a square perpendicular cut, which I have. So I'll unlock this. Okay, so I have that. I reset it, so the 0 is quite accurate then. So now what I have to do is I got to trim. I got to trim these blocks off, you know. So let me get back to work. Highly recommend this 12-inch chop saw. 12-inch rigid. You would think it would have a model jump out in your face, right? All right. There you go. In case anybody says, "Hey, man, I want one of those." All right. It's a rigid R for rigid. 4120. Okay, it's a 12-inch, and I got this at the Home Depot. Okay. Okay, I completed the gable framing, and the gable is ready to put the siding on, similar to this. And the siding would have to go right up to the rafters, and then on top of that I would put fascia. The fascia would come up to the height of the roof sheathing, and then the roof sheathing would go up to the fascia board level with the top and with the edge of the fascia board. Over here, and then of course I'm going to put a temporary fascia board. I just have to run a line across the chalk line, level line, and just to make sure the rafters are within a 1/16 of an inch. In order to put the fascia board on reasonably straight, and then that fascia board will be up to the height of the top of the roof sheathing. The roof sheathing then will go up against it. fascia board on all ends. Okay. So, nice. It's been a nice project. Nice summer project. I lost 6 weeks because I ripped the bicep muscle. Actually picking up these floor panels. These were quite heavy for me anyway, and one of them I lifted wrong. Was not the last one either. Ordinarily, when you lift a panel, you tip it up on the corner, and you grip the high end, just say with your right hand, and then the end that is tipped up, that's on a diagonal already, you use that as a pivot point, and then your right hand you bring the panel level and you walk with it. Well, what I did was I crouched down with my knees, and I just picked the panel up enough to get my fingers, my left hand fingers underneath, and with a straight arm I tried to lift the weight of the panel, and I heard a couple of snaps. I felt a couple of snaps actually in the bicep. I'm sorry the camcorder was down while I was talking. I might have to edit that out. Alright, so I don't need any more cripple studs. I don't need a cripple stud over there. That's sufficient, because I only got a few inches when I tie everything in. So now I could, I'm losing my sunlight. The only thing I might be able to do maybe is take a look at this, although this looks like it bought the farm. I don't think I want to use that, because it was out in the open. It wasn't nailed up. When it's nailed up, it's clamped actually with the nails. Otherwise, everything here would have warped. So every morning I got to sweep off the deck. It's just been raining like crazy. I bored 3/4 inch holes where it was puddling. This way, when I'm not out there with the broom, at least I'm not going to have an inch of standing water in here. And this is supposed to be a weather, they call it dry ply. It has a coating on it. And in addition to it, when it's still dry, I put a gallon of Thompson's water seal on it. So that should help, hopefully. Now, some of the mold that I see anyway around the walls, I got to spray a little Clorox and water on that to kill the mold. I don't want, as it's drying, for the mold, because the mold lays dormant. It's a living organism. Plant, as far as you know, it's plant. Alright, so I could start, once I get the siding up, all the way up to the gable. I think I want to have to buy, I got to figure out what I need. I might need another full sheet. I got to figure it out, because I'm definitely not going to use any of the stuff that's over here. So this is, I mean, you could say it held up reasonably well. Now it even has mold on it growing. See it? And exterior glue it's made up, but still it warps. You got different grains and different angles and within there, and it's wood. Let's face it. But I like this. I like this. It's going to be a nice workshop. I might be able to cut this before I lose my light. All right, good security.